Narcissistic individuals display many different bizarre behaviours, and these behaviours can vary depending on the personality type of the narcissistic individual that you are dealing with. And there's several bizarre behaviours of a fragile narcissistic individual. Fragile narcissists are also often known as the vulnerable narcissist or the covert narcissist, and they often display behaviours that differ to those of the more overt, grandiose narcissists. The behaviours of a fragile narcissist often stem from their deep-seated insecurities and their excessive need for validation. And the grandiose can need these things too, but they display them in a more overt manner. This video is about a few of the bizarre behaviours of a fragile narcissistic individual. And one of the first of these is an excessive sensitivity to criticism. Now, when you've been dealing with a narcissistic individual who's criticised you, mocked you, humiliated you, taunted you, you get to a point where you can't work out what criticism means, and you might become hypersensitive to criticism. That alone does not make you a narcissistic individual. You need the lack of empathy, the sense of entitlement, exploitative behaviour, envious of others, grandiose nature, arrogant, belief you're special, and so on. When it comes to a narcissist, they have those double standards whereby they're allowed to have a joke at your expense, but no one's allowed to expense. Where you can have a comedian that will have a joke at everyone else's expense, but people can have a joke at their expense. It works two ways. With a narcissist, they're hypocritical, and even the mildest form of criticism can trigger an intense reaction from a fragile narcissist, such as crying, sulking, and withdrawing. Even positive feedback, where they can pretend they don't know how to do something to utilise weaponised incompetence and get you to do something for them. Narcissists with their fragile sense of self-esteem cannot handle any form of criticism, even if you're trying to help them. It causes them to overreact and protect their self-image. However, they will go all out to make themselves feel normal, to provoke you in some way to gain that reaction from you. They'll criticise you to gain that reaction from you. And then once they've gained that reaction, they'll accuse you, they'll project and accuse you of the one who is overreacting so they can feel better about themselves. They will be extremely defensive. They will take offence to innocent remarks, and there will be dramatic reactions to any form of feedback. Playing the victim. Now, a victim will be a victim and often talks about the experience that they've been through. With a narcissistic individual, they often portray themselves as the victim to the circumstances that they created to gain sympathy, avoid responsibility, and punish the actual victim, scapegoat the actual victim. This behaviour draws attention away from the narcissist and their negative behaviour, and away from, it draws compassion away from the genuine victim and onto the narcissist, and it gives the negative attention onto the victim. It also reinforces the narcissist's reality that they're the one in the right, they're the one that's suffering. They will frequently complain about being mistreated by anyone and everyone who stands up to them, who doesn't let them have their own way. They will exaggerate tales of hardship. They will have always suffered worse than anyone else. They will frame situations to highlight their sufferings. False humility. Narcissistic individuals will portray themselves as humble, and it's often a facade to elicit that sort of praise and reassurance from those around them. It's a strategy that they use to receive those affirmations without appearing arrogant. They will make statements that invite compliments. They will downplay achievements while seeking validation, and they will use modesty that just doesn't feel right. It just feels icky within you. Your instincts are kind of screaming out that something isn't right. They have that constant need for reassurance. Fragile narcissists will frequently seek affirmations about their worth, about their abilities, or about their appearance. They're the ones that are going to blast the photo on social media and ask you to mark them from 10 to 1, knowing full well that they're potentially a 10. Their self-esteem is unstable and they are heavily reliant on that external validation. They will repeatedly ask for opinions on their performance, fishing for compliments, expressing doubt about themselves to receive the praise. And this isn't about going to someone and saying, hey, this happened, what do you think? And someone actually listening to the other person and taking on board the opinion and, oh yeah, right, yeah, you could actually be right there, and just seeking that validation. This is a narcissist that's seeking for you to say what they want to hear, otherwise they're going to take it as criticism, play the victim and accuse you of attacking them, even though they're the one that asked you the question. They are full of envy and resentment. They often harbour intense envy towards others who receive praise, who receive recognition, who are popular, who have any qualities that they desire. Other people's success threatens their fragile ego, leading the narcissist to feelings of inadequacy and resentment. They will use passive-aggressive comments. They will subtly undermine other people. They will show visible discomfort when other people are getting praise. Passive-aggressive behaviour. Instead of direct confrontation, a narcissist, a fragile narcissist, will express their anger or their frustration through indirect means, such as silent treatment, sulking, procrastination, sarcasm, weaponized incompetence. They'll promise to do something for you and then claim that you never asked them to do it or that they can't do it. A narcissist will go all out to use passive-aggressive behaviour as it allows them to express hostility without risking any direct confrontation or exposing their vulnerabilities. They will go all out to give you the silent treatment, to make those backhanded compliments and just forget important dates or tasks. A fragile narcissist will use a ton of self-pity. They will frequently engage in those pity parties to attract the sympathetic attention from those around them. It shifts the focus onto their struggles. It elicits that empathy and reduces the expectations that are placed on them. They will regularly talk about how difficult their life is. They will emphasize their misfortunes and they will dramatize any setbacks. A fragile narcissist will use a ton of backhanded compliments. Their compliments are often insults, and they will disguise their insults and their subtle digs as a compliment, so it's quite challenging to call them out. They will claim that you misunderstood the situation, that you're the one that's being too sensitive, that you're the one that's overreacting. They were only trying to be nice. It's a way for the fragile narcissist to undermine others while maintaining a facade of niceness and politeness. They will use things like, you're pretty smart for somebody who didn't go to university, or I wish I had the confidence to wear something like that. They can also turn to social withdrawal. Now, when you've been a victim of a narcissist, you can also you can have been isolated and you can begin to isolate yourself. That behaviour alone doesn't make you a narcissistic individual. With a narcissist, it's a pervasive pattern of behaviour. It's who they are, and they display these behaviours alongside at least 5 of the 9 criteria. They may withdraw from social situations, yet they will blame somebody else for their withdrawal, especially if they don't feel like the attention is going to be on themselves or it risks exposure or revealing their inadequacies. They will back out of an event, or they will go all out to provoke you, to cause an argument with you, to put you in the mood so that they can feel better about themselves and make you look like the crazy one. They will avoid scenarios that threaten their ego, that threaten their self-image, that helps them to maintain that sense of control and superiority. They will frequently cancel plans, avoid gatherings, or isolate themselves from experiences where they might receive any perceived slights. Yet when something works in their favour, they'll be there in the drop of a hat. Understanding these behaviours of a fragile narcissist can help you to navigate interactions with them more effectively. Recognizing these signs allows you to set boundaries and protect yourself from their manipulative tactics and no longer take their behavior personally, so that you can form a more balanced sense of self around a narcissistic individual if you cannot go no contact with them. If anyone has any thoughts on this video, please do add those into the comments for people reading through. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support with the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, we do have several online guides available, and the links to those are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. I do also have several books out on Amazon: 15 Rules to Deal with Narcissistic People If You Cannot Go No Contact, a Narcissists Handbook, which is the ultimate guide to understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, and how to create boundaries around those who have no respect for your boundaries. If you'd like to take a look at those, they'll be in the description also. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.